All right. Let's get started. So, as you can see, we're going to discuss the ways to know that God sent that man to you. Literal proof that God sent that man. I know sometimes you come across people and it's like, I know you one of the enemy's favorite children. But today we're going to talk about how to recognize when this is the one or one of those, because I do believe that God can send multiple. If you do fumble or somebody, something happens, God can send you a man and send you another one. But today we're going to talk about how to recognize when this is the one from God. Okay, so before you even leave this masterclass, I want to make sure that you understand 4 things. The first one is how the right man prepares for you. It don't mean nothing that you want that man and he wants you if he ain't prepared for you. It don't mean nothing that a man has prayed for you and hasn't prepared to keep you. So before you leave here, you're going to understand exactly how to recognize when a man is properly prepared for you. You're going to know what green flags to look for, both in dating and in a relationship phase, because sometimes a man may put on in the dating phase, and then in the relationship phase, that mask falls off, right? Well, there's certain green flags that are going to confirm that this is the man. Like if you had any kind of question, because even good men can be imperfect, or all are imperfect, but the right man is going to show you green flags all the way through, so that whenever you decide that you're going to allow that man to take your hand in marriage, you know for a fact this is the one. Thirdly, you're going to learn the kinds of traits that good men look for. A lot of times we like to talk about what men want and what men won't wife and what men will wife, and we don't really designate that they're all not the same. Like all men are created equal. Not all men move equally. Good men are in a completely different emotional tax bracket, need different things, desire different things. And so we're going to discuss exactly what those things are that more than likely, because you're watching this, I'm sure you have most of them, but you may not know how to bring them forth in a way that he can recognize. And then lastly, you're going to learn how a good man responds to your flaws versus the man that God did not send, versus Satan's favorite child. Because all these podcasts like to point out what you guys are doing wrong, modern women, this, that, and the other. But guess what? It's a different ball game when you get in the hands of a right man, in the hands of a real one. So we're going to talk about that. Now, this may or may not be for you. I always said it in the beginning because I like to value people's time the same way I like my time valued. But this is for you if, number one, you want to get it right this time. That sounds like, well, duh, Derek. No, not duh, because there are a lot of people out here who just feel like they got 9 lives just like a cat, and they're going to chill and kick it and be casual, and whatever happens, happens. But if that's not you and you're more so on the side of this next time I do this, I really want to do this right. The next person I give my heart to, I don't want to have to snatch it back. Then this is for you. This is also for you if you would rather be single than settle. You don't care nothing about, you're going to be looking lonely or you're going to die alone. You much rather, quote unquote, die alone or risk that rather than guarantee that you live every day of your life miserable, wishing that you were with somebody else or by yourself because you're dying inside. So this is for you if you're not so afraid of being single. You're much more afraid, if anything, of settling for the wrong one. This is also for you if you are 100% single, okay? And ready to love one man. Or maybe you're with a man already, but you're ready to love one man. Look, I'm not here to judge. If you got soul ties to somebody else, that's why I did the last masterclass, which, by the way, this is a follow-up to breaking the soul tie. But if you still got soul ties, if you still in love with such and such that you know he ain't right or he married or whatever the case may be, don't go looking for no new man with the information I'm going to give you today, because it's not going to work. It's not going to do you no good, okay? But this is for you if you are 100% single, and this is for you only if you're open-minded to doing something different. I'm not here to give you an emotional high or validate you in whatever thing that you just going to continue doing to get the exact same results. Some of the things we're going to talk about today is going to be different. Actually, a lot of them are going to be different than anything you've ever approached, anything you've ever tried, especially if you've been getting it wrong. So this is for you if you have an open mind and you're ready to entertain doing something different, to receive something different. Because like I know, in order to get something different, you got to do something different. Now, on the other hand, this is not for you if you are enjoying the streets, again, hookups and situationships, and that's just what you want. This gonna waste your time. We ain't gonna be here long, but this is gonna waste whatever time that we are here. This also ain't for you if you don't want anything real anytime soon. Maybe you're the one that's still the problem, or you're in your villain era or whatever. Even if he's 100% ready, you're still not ready. This ain't for you. Even though it's great to get knowledgeable about things and later on apply it, like a lot of this is going to be hands-on that you need right here, right now. So this ain't for you if you're not ready, sis. And if you just right now, you just need some money, or you're looking for somebody that's just going to take care of you. You don't really care about his heart, his character, anything like that. I'm not here to tell you how to get you a rich man, or at least rich in his bank account. I'm not here to tell you how to do that. Yes, you may end up getting a guy who happens to be wealthy as also, but this ain't for that. If you're a gold digger, you all about sprinkle, this ain't for you. And this is also not for you. Again, if you're closed-minded, you're going to do the exact same thing that you always been doing. I probably already done lost your attention by now, but this ain't for you. So thank you for coming, but go ahead, handle your business somewhere else. Now, before we begin, please prepare to take notes. I understand there's a lot of stuff going on. Y'all got kids, I got kids, but please, please, please give your undivided attention, because this ain't for me. This ain't for me. Promise you, this is for you. And what I have to share today, first off, I'm going to move quickly. Secondly, something that I say may very well change your life. I don't believe in coincidences. You saw the link to click on here and get on here and join this conversation for a reason. You're here right now for a reason. There's something that you're supposed to get out of this conversation. So take notes, turn off all distractions. Please engage regularly in the comments. Yes, I'm looking in the comments right now. Engage regularly in the comments. Say hey to me. I don't know, say what city you from, say something, because this ain't just a TED Talk. I like to engage back and forth. And watch through to the end if you like free bonuses. Typically, I give people who watch through to the very end a little something extra instead of giving everything up front. But if you like free bonuses, definitely watch through to the end. Also, I'm going to do a Q&A at the end of this as well. So if you have questions, hold the questions until the very end. I don't know if I'm going to see it, but I do see the comments. But if you have a question, it's going to be hard to kind of get to that. Now, if you're ready to begin, type yes down in the chat. Big YES exclamation mark. If you are ready, this is your time to shine. Type yes down in the chat. Type yes down. Okay, I'm seeing some yeses. Let's get into it. Now, real quick, again, this is a follow-up. If you watch Breaking the Soul Tie Masterclass, you've heard me talk about this. Some of y'all are brand new to me, but my name, Derek Jackson. No, it's not spelled like that on my government. It's spelled the regular way. But I am a believer, father, a mentor. Currently, through my Self-Crown VIP mentorship community, I mentor about, right now, 1,200. I think over the last 5 years, we've had a little over 3,500 come through the mentorship community. But if you ask me who I am now versus a couple of years ago, my answer is completely different. 1 billion views, and an author of 11, 12 books, almost 500,000 books sold independently, international speaker, and all these other things. But I define myself a lot more by what I'm able to pour. That's what I believe we're all here for. Anytime God blesses you, anytime God gifts you with something, it wasn't for you. It was for you to give to somebody else. So I am a father. Again, I am a believer. I'm not telling you what to believe, but one thing I've noticed, and one thing that's been true in my life and everybody else's life around me that I've seen, ain't nothing in that Bible false. And if you think it is, it's probably something you'll understand. But the Bible is the best self-help book in the world. And everything we're going to talk about today is aligned with the Bible. Just keep it real with you. I ain't here to preach. I'm just going to keep it G with you. I'm not, again, live how you want to live, believe what you want to believe. But one thing I believe is the truth. And one thing that I also pour into the world is what I call big brother advice. I come from a perspective of that big bro, got your back. I'm not trying to sleep with you. I'm not trying to get you on a date or nothing like that. But I'm going to tell you the harsh truth. And sometimes it's going to offend. Sometimes it's going to feel good. Sometimes it ain't. But it's always going to build you up. If you can get with that, then you can get with me on this. But let's kind of see what we're dealing with here. True or false? Do you guys believe that a real man knows a real woman when he sees her? My answer is false. A real man will see you with his eyes, but know you by your spirit. A real man, a good man, is going to see you with his eyes, but know you by your spirit. This is why whenever I hear that whole, what do you bring to the table? It's the dumbest question in the world. I'm going to tell you right now how to mark somebody off the list as a potential person that God has for you. If that man say something like, what do you bring to the table? He ain't for you. And it's not because it's wrong that a man wants to know what an experience with you is like in a relationship or anything like that. The problem is the man God has for you is going to understand that's an experience. That's not a list. That's not something you can vocalize. That's the whole purpose of the courting process, which godly men and the man that God has sent for you is going to be all for. So if that man is asking something like, oh, what do you bring to the table? He clearly doesn't understand that what a woman brings to the table has to be felt and experienced. Now, before he can see you, before he can recognize you, before he can know you with his spirit, he has to prepare first. Even the right man at the wrong time is still going to end up being the wrong thing for you. And so think of it like this. Think of it like in baseball. Can you hit a home run just going out there, just hit a home run? Ain't got no bat, ain't got no cleats, and looking at the ball? No, you got to prepare first. If you're going to hit a home run, there's certain things that have to be in order. The first thing is you got to be healthy enough to even get out there on the mound to even take a swing. Same thing goes for a man. Before he can recognize you, he has to first be healthy. He has to have fixed his relationship with his body. The reason why I say fixed is because most times a man is not going to start off on the right foot when it comes to his body. We're conditioned to use our body to cope with stress. We're conditioned to use our body as a way to escape. We're conditioned to use our body as a way to get pleasure. A lot of times we get addicted to that, whether it be drugs, whether it be sex. But before that man comes to you, he's going to have fixed his relationship with his body. God came so we could have life and have it more abundantly. Ain't nothing abundant about remaining unhealthy or addicted. So first, before he can hit that home run with you and see you for who you are, he's going to be healthy. Does that mean 100%, absolutely nothing to work on? No, but there's going to be a certain threshold where he's not bleeding on you from his wounds. The second aspect to look for in a man that's truly prepared for you is that he's going to have developed himself into an asset, physically, financially, mentally, and spiritually. This is him getting the bat. This is him getting equipped to love you. Before God gave Adam Eve, he gave Adam a garden to work in. There was work to do before there's a woman. Any man going out here and he ain't got himself together in no kind of way where he can be an asset, he just come out here looking for help and not love. That's not the man God has sent for you. Definitely not at the time God has sent him if he is. A man that's going to be in your life by way of God's choosing is going to be a man that's ready to add value to you. Again, physically, protective. In marriage, y'all gonna get to that point. He gonna be ready to do things with you and bring you to the point you need to be because he can actually be intimate because he's not all soul tied and addicted to porn and all this other kind of stuff. Financially, he may not have multiple millions of dollars, but he's going to be responsible with his finances to build a fortress around you and your family so that you can have peace of mind at night. Mentally, he's going to be able to teach you things. He's going to be able to help you calm down. He's going to be able to help you find that place of peace whenever you're overwhelmed and overthinking. Spiritually, same thing goes. Whatever your mission is in life, whatever your purpose is in life, whatever it is God got for you to do, he's going to help be able to facilitate that because he's come equipped. Thirdly, it's going to be clear on his mission. Okay? Figuratively speaking, just like a batter, okay, you healthy enough to get out there. You got the bat. Well, you got to keep your eye on the ball. You got to be focused. You as a woman cannot thrive in uncertainty. You can't do nothing with a man who's not clear about where he's going because he ain't about to lead you nowhere but off a cliff. And off that cliff means the best years of your life being used up and you being left with basically nothing but regrets. Hello, somebody. So the man that God has sent for you is going to be clear on his mission. He's going to be clear on his needs so he can communicate those. And he's going to be clear on exactly what role the woman in his life is going to be able to play in everything that he got going on. That's going to create his focus. Again, his eyes on the ball now. You can't get with no unclear man and expect commitment. The two don't go together. It's like oil and water. Don't mix. And then lastly, you're going to know that man is prepared for you because he's going to have actual desire to be a husband. That's where his effort is going to come from. It don't do nothing if you come across a good man who got this going on and that going on, but he honestly just don't desire to be in a relationship. He don't desire monogamy. He don't desire to be a husband. He doesn't desire a wife. You can't hold him accountable to doing nothing different or better as time goes on because he don't desire it in the first place. He just enjoys you. He's not with you. I know some of y'all gonna be mad at me. Still love you though. But when you date the wrong man, this is what it's gonna look like. This is what it's gonna feel like. It's gonna feel like there are red flags everywhere, but you're trying to give it a chance. You trying not to hit the road. You trying not to run at the first sight of trouble or whatever, but you're not going to be able to ignore it. There's some red flags here. And a lot of times what women will make the mistake of doing is, well, I'm not so invested right now, so it doesn't break my heart. It doesn't mess me up too bad. I can just hang around a little bit. I'm not tripping. I got other men too. Maybe I'll just keep my eyes open while continuing to open up to this man. But that's what it feels like when you're dating the wrong man. Or it feels like the ick 90% of the time, and the other 10% of the time, you feel like you got tricked, like you got duped, like somebody was able to pretend their way into your heart. Put I down in the chat if you've ever had any of these situations. Put I down in the chat. Almost forgot one. When initially it starts off hot, then suddenly goes cold. Put I down in the chat if you've ever dated and it felt like in the beginning, this is the man. You know this is the man. And then boom, he pulled back. He withdrew. His energy changed. He didn't want to talk as much as he was talking before. Started off hot, went cold. And maybe it went cold over time. Maybe he started sabotaging little by little. Started pulling back. Now, here's what it's going to feel like when you're dating the right man. It's going to start off promising. But steadily as time goes on, it's going to get deeper. And you're going to realize you guys are much more aligned than what you even initially thought. It's going to start off promising, though. Not hot. Not, again, no love bombing and promises and all the future casting and mirroring. But it's going to start off promising and then get deeper and deeper as time goes on. You're also going to notice a lot of green flags that tug at your heart, not at your eyes. Green flags, things that you're going to look at and it's like, wow, I didn't know my soul needed this. I didn't know I respected this on this level. I didn't know. Instead of him just trying to do flashy things and impress you and, you know, here's my car and here's my black card. You know, a lot of these dudes ain't got no black card, no way. But when you're dating the right man, it's going to feel more protected, more safe than you ever felt in your previous relationships. Even if you just started dating this guy, it's going to feel like you're more protected here, more safe, more considered here, even in the first couple of months of dating and courting, than you felt in years of relationship before this. Now, here are some indicators of these things. When you're still in the dating phase, here's some indicators that you're dealing with a man who has a chance of being the right man for you. First off, his habits are going to be aligned with his professed values. He's not going to be talking about, oh, I want one woman. I'm satisfied with one woman. I ain't tripping on having casual sex, but be in a strip club every week. But be following all the Instagram baddies. You're going to see his habits align with his professed values. If that man say, hey, look, I'm a dedicated dad. I just like to take care of myself. I like to grow. You're going to see him have a habit of reading, of working out, of spending time with his children, of mentorship, of programs, of courses or classes or accounts that he follows that pour into his mind. You're going to see his habits align with his professed values. When you see that misalignment, you know something ain't right. You're also going to see that there's structure. And there's timelines in his life. When you get with a man and ain't no structure, there's no carved out time that he does anything. Or there's no carved out capacity that he does anything on a consistent basis. There's nothing that he's getting done for the month of October, or November, or December, or this quarter, or this year. There's nothing that he has already planned out, mapped out for his life. That man is about to bring you into straight chaos. Part of the masculine is to bring structure. So if that man ain't got no kind of structure, no kind of timelines, I'm not talking about somebody who got every 15-minute increment of their day planned out. I'm talking about a general structure and timeline that tells you he's measuring things in his life to make sure they're moving along. This is the kind of man that whenever you're in a relationship with him, you ain't got to be sitting there asking, when are we getting married? It's already structured and there's already a timeline. Now, something that may surprise you is that when the right man comes along, he's probably going to be kind of boring. Now, I know that y'all going to turn me off before you go all the way. You know, I love y'all, but don't turn me off just yet. Because boring in the context of predictable, safe, consistent. Not boring in the sense of he ain't got nothing to talk about. He's still going to be intriguing mentally. He's going to have things that you're interested in to talk about. But his lifestyle is not going to be all over the place. Spontaneity every single day, every other day. No. Because if he's built anything meaningful and he's protecting what it is that he's built, there's going to be a lot of pattern, a lot of structure, again, a lot of predictability. with occasional spurts of spontaneity, occasional vacations and things that he's never done or tried before. But the masculine, especially if he has something of value, it's going to be pretty structured. Look for that. That's a green flag. I know in your younger years, that was a turnoff. But as you get older, the things that you used to find so exciting, you can't even get interested in no more. Those things that used to excite you, when you get older, when you heal, those same things, they don't even interest you no more. And then one more indication from the right man is going to be that he courts you with the same priority as a relationship partnership. Like, I'm not saying he's going to treat you just like his wife when he just met you. But the whole vetting process of, can you even be in my life? He's going to take that seriously because of the priority he holds on the person that's going to be in his life. It's like if you go and try to interview for a job, they're not going to just, whenever you can, just come in. Like if they do, they don't pay much. They ain't got no benefits. But those jobs that's got 6 figures, that got benefits all over the place, they take that hiring process very seriously. Very seriously. They invest resources. They will fly you out. It may take multiple rounds. They're not playing no games with that hiring process. They actually invest money just to go places to hire. And the same thing goes with a man who knows he's bringing you into something that he's built up to be an asset, himself and his life. So if somebody approach things casually or whatever happens, man, look, that's not the right man for you, sis. And I don't know why it's showing up like this, but patience. He's going to have patience with you while being intentional. So many times we try to treat those two like they're mutually exclusive. Like if he's patient with you and he takes his time, what you get with the wrong man, he's patient because he got other chicks. He ain't tripping on you. He got other women lined up. Oh, I'll be patient with having sex with you. I'll be patient with getting in a relationship with you because he got a whole family over there. There's no intentionality on you. And then on the other hand, you have the wrong man who'll say, well, I'm intentional. I want to be together today. And he just met you this morning. But the right man is going to have both patience and intentionality. No, he ain't giving his time and attention and energy to any and everybody that come along. But at the same time, he can be patient. He's not wanting to rush because he's in it for the long game. He's here for a long time, not just a good time. Is this helpful to anybody? Is what I'm saying helpful to anybody? Type yes down in the chat if it is. All right, I see it's helpful. All right, make sure y'all still with me. We're not done yet. So let's just go through how to know when you're dealing with the right man versus the wrong man. Okay? When you're dealing with the man that God has sent for you, even if you come in setting your boundaries, voicing your standards nice and early, guess what? The right man is going to look at that and say, wow, she has high self-esteem. You're not going to, y'all be so scared to run off the man. Oh, I don't want to say this and I need that. It's just too early. And it ain't no too early for a man that's on the same page as you. If you want $1 million, somebody else want $1 million. Is there such thing as talking about that $1 million too early? No. Y'all on the same page. So whenever you come in setting boundaries, voicing your standards, I know in this day and age, everybody wants y'all to be mousy and nice and quiet, but no, the right man is going to see that as an indication of high self-esteem, meaning you have the capacity to love him from a place of overflow. You don't come in as a void. Whenever he compliments you, you're able to receive that. He also can count on you being vocal and clear about where you stand in a relationship, what you need in a relationship, so he don't have to guess or feel like he's shooting in the dark. Also, you setting your boundaries and voicing your standards indicate to him that you have an asset that's been protected. Even if you've taken some licks along the way, even if you've taken some bumps and bruises, this asset of yours, you've been keeping that protected. It's in good shape. It's not for everybody. It's untouchable by most, especially the wrong ones. Now, when you're dealing with the wrong man, he gonna say you bitter. He gonna say you stuck up. He gonna say you being negative. The moment that you voice your boundaries, he gonna call it everything else except what it truly is, which is him basically taking the trash out if you allow him to. Y'all ever been called stuck up for having standards? Let's move on. When you're dealing with a man that's not right for you, and let's say you're a little older, let's say you're over the age of 40, 50, don't matter, 35, depending on how you consider mature or whatever. The wrong man is going to try to make it seem like, one, you're no longer attractive. Again, two, you must be bitter. Three, you ain't no good as the younger girl because basically you too hard to manipulate. He ain't gonna say that. He gonna make it seem like you're not teachable, but the wrong man for you is gonna try to put you in one of these categories. But if you're dealing with the right man, whenever you're older and as you get older, because I'm not here to slight the younger sisters watching this, if you in your early to mid 20s or something like that, at some point you keep waking up, you're going to be an older woman as well. You're going to be a more mature woman as well. But the right man for you is going to see that as an indication of maturity. You're getting older. You're more mature. It's more enjoyable to deal with you, to be around you, to spend time with you, to build things with you. You're going to be more relatable to him. If he's older and mature himself, you're going to be more relatable instead of always feeling like there's this disconnect. A lot of times we hear things about, women ain't supposed to do nothing but cook, clean, and shut up and da-da-da-da. The reason why is because these dudes be dealing with women they don't like and they can't relate to. So they basically just get somebody that's going to be in the house just doing things instead of enjoying who she is as a person. The right man is also going to see your age and you continuing to grow older as an indication that you're becoming more trustworthy. Why is that? Not that younger girls don't have good character. Younger girls typically don't know themselves very well. So it's a lot of unpredictability. Because one day she could wake up and, wow, I didn't want a relationship. I didn't want marriage, and I thought I did. Or I didn't want to live in the South or the North. I didn't want to be a housewife or a working woman. But when you get older and you are more self-assured and you know yourself, you become somebody who's more trustworthy, more safe to love. The right man is going to appreciate that. And again, your confidence is likely going to be higher. You've weeded out a lot of that people pleasing and comparison. And, if you just like this girl or that girl, whenever you gain weight, the right man and the wrong man are going to be polar opposites on how they treat that. I'm not here to tell you, if he's the wrong man, then he's going to have this preference. And no, preferences are preferences. But let's say you're in a relationship with this man and you start gaining some weight. Let's say you put on 15, 20 pounds, okay? The wrong man is going to immediately jump to how you must be lazy or you're getting too comfortable or you need to be more like this woman or that woman. Don't matter if you just had a baby. Don't matter what you're going through in life. The wrong man is not going to approach things with compassion or empathy. Whereas when you're dealing with the right man, his default approach with you is always going to be, first off, concern for you. Are you okay? Are any changes, gain, lose, don't matter. Are you okay? How's your mental? How's your mind? Is this stress weight? Is this intentional weight? From there, it's going to be acceptance first, the first couple of pounds, because why are you in a relationship where you got to be the exact same size, 24/7, year round, decade after decade? You ain't got no wiggle room. That's not a relationship you can call home. Because guess what? You're going to change age-wise too. Your hair is going to change. Your outfit, everything's going to change about you. That's all of us. So it's going to be acceptance first. Now, if he gets to a point where it's unhealthy, he's going to want to support you through getting back to where you need to be. I'm not here to tell you he's going to let you just, mess up your health or anything like that. But if it's 15, 20 pounds, first thing, concern for your mental, you okay, you're all right, he noticed it. How are you feeling about it? Is it messing with your esteem, your confidence? Acceptance first, but then if it keeps going, 50, 60, 100 or more pounds is going to be support. Hey, baby, we need to work together to get this right. A man that loves you may make you uncomfortable in telling you that, but he's going to be willing to support, to work out with you, to spend more time with you, to invest in the personal trainer. You're not going to get a lot of criticism. You're going to get collaboration because he's going to see it as an opportunity to love you through that. That makes sense? Now, when it comes to going 50-50, the wrong man is going to make that a requirement. I know this is where a lot of people are, hey, it shouldn't be no problem going 50-50. The wrong man is going to make it a requirement that you go 50-50 no matter what the situation is for the duration of the relationship. Now, why do I say that? Because the wrong man is not going to take it seriously that he's a provider in the relationship. And not just a provider in terms of bills being paid, but a provider in your space necessary to be what you need to be whenever you're your best. If you're your best when you're a feminine woman, when you're not exhausted, when you're not stretched thin, he's going to want to create the situation. The right man is going to want to create that situation where you could be all of those things. The wrong man is going to hold it as a requirement that you be on some 50-50, you be half the provider while being 100% of the cooking, the cleaning, the nurturing of the children. I ain't never seen a man that said, well, you ain't got to cook and you ain't got to clean. You just pay 50-50. I ain't seen it. I haven't seen it. Men work the same 8-hour shift that you work, come home, kick their feet up, and expect you to go over here and deep clean everything around the house. Correct me when I'm wrong. Whereas the right man, he's going to understand that sometimes 50-50 is necessary, but for a while, that's not the goal. The right man is not going to make it a requirement no matter what. It may be where you guys are right now as you work as a team to get up to another point in life. And if you want to keep making money, great. Maybe you want to take money and invest it for the family or something like that, but not no 50-50, not no roommates. Sorry. I know some of y'all on that new stuff. I'm just not. The right man will be the one that's grinding because we are predisposed to do that per our masculine energy as opposed to a feminine woman. Now, if you're the type, or at least at some point you've thought things, you've gotten overwhelmed, you've gotten anxious or anything like that, the wrong man is only going to make things worse. He's going to immediately dismiss you, call you negative, call you stressful. Again, he's going to jump straight into criticism, whereas the right man is going to look at this as a chance to help you calm down, as a way to anchor you. He's going to prioritize giving you clarity, reassurance, so that he doesn't make it worse. These are the separators between the man that God has sent for you versus everybody else. For those of y'all who've ever gotten confused, like I said, you're not going to leave here confused no more. I'm not done. Because some of y'all got kids. And you've heard the slander just like I've heard the slander. She got children. She must be damaged goods, baggage, promiscuous, and blah, blah, blah. That's the wrong man talking. You got to detox yourself from all of this nonsense that you've heard on all of these podcasts about who you are and what that means because you got a child. I'm not saying everybody prefers everything. It's perfectly fine that that man wants to miss out on that blessing of a woman because she got a child or two or whatever you got. But when you hear the criticisms, whenever you hear the epithets, that's not coming from a man that God is sending for you anyway. Because the right man, he's going to see this as an indication of how nurturing you likely are versus women who either don't yet have children or don't have children. Don't mean that they're less than, but he's going to see this as an advantage because if you have a child, you've had to sit there and nurture that child from inside to out. You've had to. Nurturing is a very attractive quality in a woman in the house. So more than likely, you've developed your ability to be just that. I've seen a lot of women who didn't have that, had kids, and now they're extreme. They open that part of them up. The right man is going to see also, this is a proof of concept of how she's going to parent. If he already has children or wants children with you, he's going to see this as an opportunity to see in action form how you handle children. Again, this doesn't make the woman with children better than whatever. These are just advantages. Everything has pros and cons. And the right man's going to look for these pros. He's not going to look to criticize, even if that's not his preference. He's still going to be able to acknowledge that these are some of the advantages. And it's also going to indicate to him that you're selfless. And more than likely, you got a higher level of commitment than everybody else because mothers can't just run and abandon whenever they're tired and they don't feel like it. Most of them anyway. So if you're a woman that stayed there, held it down with the children, days that they're sick, days that they're overwhelming you, overstimulating you, more than likely, you've built up a higher level of commitment or ability to be committed. Let me give you an example because, y'all don't understand how much I get annoyed seeing people try to paint all men like this, all women like this, all single moms like this. And the thing I keep hearing is how single mothers are so unwanted. Well, tell that to Russell Wilson. Tell that to Russell Wilson. Sierra met him whenever she had a child already. She was with rappers before. Everybody say she wasn't no good. All of these rules and thoughts and preconceived notions, and boom, she pop out married in 2016. Been married ever since, had 2 children since, happily married with Russell Wilson. And that man is in love. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you know Sierra Russell Wilson, that man is in love. He's rich, seemingly at least, because I don't know him personally, but from every fruit of the spirit I can see, tell a tree by the fruit that it bears. That man is rich, and I ain't just talking about his bank account. Love Sierra. And I know this is Sierra, but this is Sierra, and she only had 1 child. Pastor Keon, Shawnee Henderson, formerly Shawnee O'Neal. She met him with 5 children. She was 47 years old. Got married in 2022. Says he's the first man she's ever truly loved. For those of y'all, I'm not talking, this ain't just about single mothers, by the way. This is addressing a lot of the nonsense that you hear about. Oh, you too old. You too this. You overthink. You're too crazy. You're too whatever. You got too many kids. You got too many. Man, look. Detox your mind from what you be hearing everybody else talk about and understand that real men and the man that God has sent for you is going to be on a completely different page. Now, I started this out with a question, but I got another one. How do you keep a man? Somebody help me out. How do you keep a man? Put it down in the chat. What would you say are some things that will ensure that you can keep a man? I want to see where we at. This is open-ended, down in the comments, down in the chat. How would you say you keep a man? I already didn't see the comment. I was waiting to see. I knew I was going to see it. You can't keep a man unless he want to be kept. The misconceptions don't just go from the podcast and all that kind of stuff. I've seen women hold this misconception, and that's why it seems like a good man is so hard to find. Like there aren't any good men left. When the reality is there's a lot of good men out here. I ain't gonna say most, but there's a lot. And they're out here missing y'all. Those of y'all who are wanting a good man, they're missing y'all. They can't find y'all. The unfortunate reality for most good men that I've talked to thousands over the last decade, most women are out of position to receive that man. And we've talked about this before countless times, but most women are out of position. Out of position can be in the wrong relationship, still soul tied up to the wrong man, still healing, but not doing the healing, just doing the waiting, being celibate, just idly sitting by, hoping that time heals all and don't heal nothing if you ain't doing the work. The unfortunate reality for most good men is that the woman is out of position whenever they meet them, or the woman does not understand them at all. Does not understand them at all. Again, this is the flack I received, y'all, because like I said, my Cell Crown VIP, we meet every week and we talk about these things all the time, just like this. And the flack I receive whenever I try to tell, especially if somebody's new, I could tell whenever they new, because they still getting in their own way. Well, Derek, I know how to appreciate a man. I already know how to understand a man. I know how to appreciate a man. I value him. Okay. You can value, let me ask y'all a question. Do you value whenever you get on the plane, you go from point A to point B, the plane lands safely? Did you value that? Did you appreciate that? My guess is yes, okay? My guess is yes. I ain't got to look at it. My guess is yes. But if you got in that cockpit and you had to be the one to fly that plane, would you know what you were doing? Would you understand every knob, every graph? Even though you valued flying safely, you valued a flight that kept you in one piece from one place to the next. You valued it, you appreciated it, but that didn't translate to you understanding it when it was right there in your face for you to handle now, for you to take over with. What I'm saying here is, as a woman, surely you value, you appreciate a good man. But if you're unfamiliar with a good man, a man that's truly loved you, brought out the best in you, was there to protect you, was there to provide for you way more than just something financial, if that's not familiar to you, that ain't what you used to, there's a lot you still have to learn about that man. And then most good men are running into that. Women that do not understand them, misinterpret them all the time because they're used to everything else. And then lastly, like we just talked about, most women want a good man, but don't know how to keep one. I'm not trying to sound like all of the other people that talk all kind of crazy. I'm not talking about that at all. But the misconception that you can't do nothing about a man, keeping a man, da-da-da-da. How many times you done met a man that was talking good, looked good, or no, let's say not talking good. He looked good, he smelled good, but the moment he opened his mouth, actually, that's what turned you off. You wanted to give him some. You wanted to hang out with him. You wanted to go on a second date, third date. You wanted to take things to the next level. And he talked himself right out of it. How many times that's happened? Or how many times you done seen a guy or, whatever, just somehow seen a guy and he ended up being married, right? Faithful though, but you saw him like, man, that's a good dude. Oh, he married? Shucks. Like you wanted him, but now something has become an obstruction to you being able to move forward with this man. The same thing goes for a lot of good men that get in relationships. They want to be there. They want the woman, they want the relationship, they're all in, they're serious. But then something that she does, says, or still hasn't worked on it within herself, even though she's a good woman, she hasn't worked on something within herself. And that's now become an obstruction that's preventing him from being able to remain in that situation, in that relationship with that woman, even though he wants to. So there are things as a woman you can do to quote unquote keep a man. He wants to be kept, but even a man that wants to be kept will still leave if there are certain obstructions. Now that's a completely different conversation. I just wanted to tell y'all how to recognize whenever God sent you that man, and also how to recognize when he didn't. But can I show you what I've created to make sure you don't have those problems that we just talked about? Again, if you just want the presentation on proof that God sent that man, hope you enjoyed it. Live your best life, sis. I got your back like I told you I would. But if you want more, I actually created something that will make sure on that last topic that you don't run into those same issues that will cause you to fumble that man that God sent whenever he comes your way. If I can show you that, type yes down in the chat. I see the yeses already. All right, so I'm with the right group now. Let's move on. What I created was the bride-to-be blueprint. So no more fiery hot romances that fizzle out before you get to the finish line. For those that want to go the distance, because it's great to attract this kind of man, to meet this kind of man, to date this kind of man, to know that he exists. But when getting into the relationship with that man, you want to make sure you're not the problem. And not only not the problem, but you're able to bring the best out of that man and him also bring the best out of you. The bride-to-be blueprint. This is essentially 2 separate programs put into one. The first one on decoding the mind of a man for those that want to make sure they can understand their man. But this is not just for the man that God has sent for you. This is to be able to discern whenever you're dealing with men who are not that man, because before you get to the man God has sent, you're probably going to come across some frogs. You ain't got to kiss them, but you can probably come across some frogs. So decoding the mind of a man, which is about a 2-hour program, by the way. Let's go ahead and get into that. Good, bad, and ugly. This program goes through how to recognize when a man is in love or when a man is depressed, when a man is mentally checked out, when a man is using you, specific phrases that a man might say and what they really mean. Like when a man says, you always complaining. Of course, this ain't the man that God sent for you, by the way. Or you might just be dating and it might be something that can go both ways. Why'd your last relationship end? Or in a relationship when a man says, I need some space. Matter of fact, this is over 15 different topics that I covered in this one. Again, this is almost a 2-hour program right here. Very, very thorough on how to decode the mind of a man. I'm essentially giving you like a glossary on the most commonly used phrases, mental and emotional states, a hidden agenda sometimes, but it's basically going to let you allow you to interpret the nonverbal communication. Even if he said something, what does it mean? What is between the lines? And then also, I give you the responses to get what you want out of the situation. Not talking manipulation, I'm talking about love, so that you don't say anything or you don't respond in a way that brings an unintended end result. So that program is $797. Decoding the mind of a man, okay? In the bride-to-be blueprint. The second program I have discusses the 2 ways good women lose the man that God has sent for them. Which is essentially, again, what we just talked about, but in depth, where I talk about how cooking and cleaning and loyalty are not the primary needs of any man. Y'all, there's so many misconceptions. We'll be here too long for me to go through all of them. Cooking, cleaning, and even loyalty are not the primary needs of a good man. I know, Derek, what are you talking about? Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? Cooking and cleaning, first off, came from a place whenever we were in survival mode. Just like protect and provide for a man, and it was very simplistic, provide money in a house and protect from grizzly bears and stuff like that. But guess what? We're in a different day and age where that's not necessarily what you as a woman can be satisfied with by itself. Same thing goes with cooking and cleaning. The functions of a woman used to be, hey, cook, clean. But guess what? God said he's making us a helpmate. My belief is that that helpmate wasn't about cooking and cleaning. It was on a spiritual level. So the primary needs of a man are going to be spiritual, but not theoretically. Very, very straightforward, very tangible, very practical. The primary needs and the primary reasons that good men leave even good women are always spiritual. So in this program, I deep dive on exactly what that is, exactly why good men are leaving good women more than ever before. We are in a day and age where women are working on themselves, developing and all those good things, but a lot of times it's not translating into a relationship. This is why so many great women are out here single. It's not just because men don't know a good one when they see one, but again, it's because a lot of times they don't know how to translate that. So this is where I discuss the common misconceptions that lead to that. So hopefully it won't for you. Definitely won't if you follow my instruction. And this is going to allow you to ensure that when God sends you your Boaz, you don't mess it up. That program is also $797. So together, those programs are $1,594. Okay, you can get those. There should be a link somewhere. If you're in the chat, you can get those. Honestly, you can get that at my website, DerrickJackson.com. If you want those together, or you want either one of those, $797 each, or you can get them together. Now, just like I told you I was going to give y'all free bonuses, I always keep my word. You watch through to this part. We're coming up on Black Friday. I want to do something special for those who are fast action takers, because I've noticed that those who take action quickly get the best results. So if you want these programs or you feel like either one of them could provide some value to you, I'm going to drop the price down to just $147, but only for the next 150 people. There should be a link that just popped up. If you watch it right now, look for the link that just popped up that says get access. Click that link and it's going to take you to the page where you can get both of these. Don't go to my website, DerrickJackson.com. Instead, go to the link. It should say get access now. You can get access for $147, but that's going to time out or it's going to end whenever it gets to 150 people. Because with that, I'm going to make it a no-brainer and give some free bonuses. The first one is my newest program, the Relationship Reset Program. Okay, this goes with the book, Heal Together Without Hurting Each Other. This is for those that didn't start off perfect. This is for those that are currently in a situation now. You feel like that man is right and you're right for him, but y'all have made some mistakes along the way. You came in unhealed. There was some type of betrayal. There was some type of miscommunication that set y'all off on the wrong path. Whatever it was, this is the program to go step by step and reset the right way with the right person. I'm going to make sure you have access to that free if you're able to get in the next 150 people to get the bride-to-be blueprint. Also, let's add another bonus. How to make him fall deeper in love. Because a lot of what we talked about actually goes with a program that I created a while back discussing the 5 stages of love that a man can fall into, but most people don't get past stage 3. And only few even get there, but most people don't get past stage 3. Because it's one thing to be with a good man, it's a whole nother thing to make that man fall so deeply in love beyond what he even knew he was capable of. It's like taking a hardworking man and then sparking a fire in him that takes him to heights in life he couldn't motivate himself to get to, but it was always there all along. As a woman, you have the exact same ability to do that. We know that women are the maximizing favor factor, right? Women can maximize everything in a man's life. Same thing goes for his ability to love. So I'm going to include that as a free bonus, my program on how to make a man fall deeper in love. Throughout the years, basically think of the honeymoon phase, but times 10. And then one more free bonus, Cell Crown VIP access for life. You may have heard me mention the Cell Crown VIP community. That's my private mentorship community that I meet with every single week. This gives you access to not only those women, it's about 1,200 that are currently in there right now. We meet up every single week online in a private room, not on social media, where you can get your questions answered. I also do presentations like this every single week for them and only for them. This ain't on social media. Now that's $564 a year, but this, if you're able to get in, you got to click that link down here that says get access. If you're able to get in the next 150 people, you can get access for life for only $147, one-time payment, not a payment plan. That's a value, y'all, of almost $4,000. So if that sounds fair to you, if that sounds like it's something you might be interested in, I'm gonna make it even more of a no-brainer, and I'm gonna add my 30-day money-back guarantee. So worst case scenario, you lose nothing. Best case scenario, you get in position for the man God has for you. And whenever he comes into your life, you know for 100% certain you're gonna be ready to keep him. As of course, he does the work to keep you. And you're gonna have me every step of the way, along with Self-Crown VIP private community, to hold your hand and support you. If there's anything specific that you got that comes up, anything specific that you want me to help you work through, the only way you can get my help is through Self-Crown VIP. And this is the only time you're gonna get it. Going into Black Friday, trying to do something special for those of y'all who want results, you want them now. It's cuddle season. So I'm making it an incredibly low, discounted, affordable price of only $147, one-time payment, but only if you see value in this. Okay, so again, click the Get Access link. There should be a little button down here that says Get Access below. You probably want to hurry, or you can just go wait, go to DerrickJackson.com later on and get any of these programs at full price or not at all. And I'll see you on the next VIP or the next live chat, the next email or whatever it is that led you here. No matter what, I appreciate you for joining. That's definitely going to wrap it up now. Thank you guys for coming in, spending some time with me today. Let me know if you got something of value from this. Hit me in my DMs, hit me in the comment section. Or if you're able to get in to Self-Crown VIP, let me know in our next live chat. Check your email. For those who are getting in, first off, congrats. Congratulations for making it. For those who are able to get in, I'll see you on the next live chat. Let me know what you thought of this masterclass. And with that being said, I'm going to be out. Y'all be good. Peace.